In the Apple year. So Benin protest has been hijacked by hoodlums. The question is, who is sponsoring the hoodlums? If you are a wise person, who are we fighting against? This is not government. So the government are sponsoring hoodlums to hijack our protest, and they have succeeded. Especially in Edo State. In Edo State, you discover that there was prison break in Edo State. You discover that prisoners were climbing. They climbed to an extent that it was even so very slow. Nobody stopped them, and they jumped down. All the prisoners came out in numbers. Wow, nice one. The prisoners has gained freedom. I don't have a problem with the prisoners, but the thing is, the government should stop shifting the blame of the protesters releasing the prisoners. The government need to be asked questions. Why? Because they knows what happened in that prison. There must be a prison warden that has opened that prison gate for them. Why? Because if you even go to normal jail like they used to lock them, you discover that there is a key there, there's a padlock. So it is somebody that opened it for them. I don't know if you understand. I'm talking about the prison that was broken in Benin, because that is the reason why the government is saying that Benin protest, rather the ENDSARS protest is no longer a protest. It is now thugs invasion. It is now threat to life. Why? Because the government knows what they are doing. I will tell you for free, it is the government that released those prisoners. Why? To stop our peaceful protests. And let me tell you something, the Edo youth that came out for peaceful protests were still on the move. But thugs came to distract the movement. It is thugs that collect money from drivers. Thugs collect money from those passing by. We were told that some people even get their cars being smashed, broken windscreen and others. What does that show to you? Each of these are what we're expecting. Why? Because the government knows what to do so that they can put us in perpetual darkness and they can put us in perpetual lock, so that we will not achieve our aim of ending police brutality and putting an end to bad governance. They have achieved it. As I'm talking to you from Edo State, there is no longer movement. As I'm talking to you, the government has declared 4 p.m. as curfew. The same government that could not address us when our protesters too died 3 days ago. Now they have shut down Edo State. They said no movement again, 24 hours curfew, and they didn't provide food for the people. Are you seeing that the thing is getting worse? Let me tell you something. The reaction of the people you are seeing, most of them are not same movement. They are not moving in the right direction. They are not moving as being peaceful. But most of them are reacting to what they have been through in the hands of police, in the hands of SARS. Most of them are reacting to the brutality they have faced. Let me tell you something. These are youth. These are youth with great potentials. But they were deprived of their potentials by the Nigeria police. I see some of them burning police station and the rest, but I don't think these are the peaceful protesters. But what we were expecting the government to do before now is to address us. The same Edo State governor that could not address us is now telling us that the state is now under curfew. Why? They don't achieve their aim of locking us. I want to beg Edo you, please, now that our protest has been hijacked, please don't go outside. Stay safe. It took me time before I got home today. I went to share tags. I went to share flags rather. We shared almost 200 flags to Nigeria, sponsored by Kevin Glover. Great man. We want Edo youth to be included in this movement, but now the whole protest has changed. How can you collect somebody's phone? How can you collect money for people to pass? Is that the reason why we lost people? Is that the reason why people died? People died because of police brutality. People died because of bad governance. And that's what we actually came to change the story. But everything has changed. Why? Because the government and people decide to sponsor hoodlums. I don't know the person that is guarding that prison, because I believe it's that prison that is causing this whole curfew right now. The person guarding that prison at that particular time need to be questioned. Why? Because it is not the peaceful protesters that the only arms they carried was wood, firewood. I don't know how they now jumped in to free the prisoner. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Ask the government if they are being sincere to us. Let them ask the warders who opened door for the prisoners. So each of these are ways of distracting us, and finally they have won in Edo. But please, I want to beg those in Lagos, please be calm so that your peaceful protest can keep going on. Please, no stealing the protest ground, no violence. Please, let's do it peaceful. I am an advocate of an egalitarian society. I am an advocate of protest without bitterness. I think that's what we have been doing since. No bitterness. We are brothers keepers, so we move with one voice. But those state protests have been hijacked. It's a pity, and that is why we don't have anything to do. As I'm talking to you, I just go home. Since morning I've been out, and there's nothing we can do. So please, we urge all our brothers. I see Abuja, they are killing people in Abuja. As a military man, if you see someone holding flag and you are still shooting at that person, it's a shame, it's a disgrace on your part. Why? Because it's a patriotic Nigeria trying to fight for his own rights. And let me tell you something. The reason why people are angry is not just because of ENDSARS alone. People are angry because of bad governance. Buhari knows that he has failed. The presidency has failed. Most of the state governors has failed, and that's why people are out. How can you pay a senator 25 million naira? You pay them millions of naira. You give them car allowance. You give them shirt allowance. You give them girlfriend allowance, sitting allowance, newspaper allowance, sitting allowance, water allowance, and you pay police 5,000 naira. I was told that some of them even collect 19,000 naira monthly. 19,000, 25,000 naira. Then you give them AK-47 so that they will be washing it at you. Won't they go to the street and brutalize people to get money? Go and check the police barrack. Check senators' quarter. You will discover that you cannot compare them. Check legislative quarters. Check police barrack. You will discover that they are not the same. As I'm addressing you now, you see the way I'm sweating. I've paid for my NEPA bill, but there's no light. We have been in perpetual darkness and nobody is saying anything. Why? Because the people are tired. When you see people burning tires and those reactions, these are things that they could no longer hide the bitterness. And let me tell the government, these are the monsters you made on the streets. And most of them are not educated, so definitely they are going to behave the way they are behaving right now. Even if they are educated, we don't have the same minds. So you won't blame them. But in the long run, I see Lagos being so peaceful. So let Lagos and other states continue. But all I'm saying is this. The reason why Edo youth are so angry to this extent is that most of them, this is their only time to air their views, and they have freedom of expression. It's just that to every right there are limitations. I beg Edo youth, please. Now that they are telling us that there is 24 hours curfew, my brother, let us relax. Let us re-strategize. Let us come out with one voice. Let us come out with peace. No extension. You don't need to collect money from people. That is not the reason why we are here. You don't need to steal somebody's phone. You don't need to stress, because when you start doing that, you are causing protest apathy. People will now start shying away from the protest. There is no need of collecting people's phone. No need of harassing them. They are still your fellow youth. Now you are trying to set the house of your neighbor ablaze. That your neighbor will not be in trouble. Is it Buhari you are putting in trouble? When you destroy somebody's car, is it Buhari's car? Who will fix it? Is this not still your fellow poor man? So please, let's start getting this to our head for the Edo youth. I know that there are some talks that were sponsored among us, but for those of us that have seen and we are moving from the ENDSARS and police brutality protest, please, let's move in peace. One voice. Let's move in peace and one voice. Please, I want to use this opportunity to beg Fals, Runtown, Obi Franklin, please, Edo State youth. For those of us, we are sorry, but the movement continues. Thank you very much for coordinating your people. Our own, I won't lie to you, people sponsor talks to hijack it, and that's why we're here. But we'll still keep posting online to make sure that this protest continues. Enough is enough. Say no to police brutality, no to bad governance, no to injustice, and there must be justice for all the victims of police brutality, and that's why we're here. Legute is happen here. No man is God. We move.